Welcome to another episode of Geek-men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I'm Dustin, and I'll be introducing you guys to my guest here in a moment. But first, this is to promote the new Silverline's new streaming Silverline comic. So I have it there in the description, and at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the Kickstarter, where we're going to be talking about the, where is it? Beyond the Stars. And I guess it's pronounced Bear, but we'll get into that here in a bit. First, I'm going to introduce you to Ron, who wasn't able to join us today, but he is joining us via this intro video.
Stars issue number 3 promo video. Let's go.
All right. Hey, we're here at the local comic shop where we're filming a promotional piece for the Kickstarter number 3 for issue number 3 of Beyond the Stars, which is a 6-issue miniseries I'm currently writing for Silverline Comics. And part of this whole little promotion video is to give all of you people who've been helping us in the past and supporting the first 2 issues a little behind the scenes on how this all came about. Basically, it was one day while surfing the web, I came across some artwork, pages from a science fiction sequence, went about 4 or 5 pages, by an Italian artist named Andrea Vermeer. Now, I was unfamiliar with who Andrea was at the time, but fell in love with the artwork, enough so that I left a comment. I really applauded his gift, his talent, and asked what the story was with those 5 pages. There was no lettering, no captions, just a science fiction motif that intrigued me to no end. Well, much to my delight, Andrea, recognizing my name as a professional comic book writer, got back to me the following day and explained that it was an idea he'd been fooling around with for a while, but he didn't have a concrete story. Andrea pretty much was developing characters for what would be a plot, a story. But up until this point, he had sequences and images in his mind, but not a clear plot. And did me the great honor of asking if I'd like to see what he'd put together with the possibilities of joining him in the project. Well, I wasn't about to turn that gift horse away, and approvingly said, yes, send me what you have, which meant the following day we exchanged emails. So the following day I get a package which included 5 or 6 detailed character sketches and a half-page little plot outline. Again, that made me realize he really didn't have the story. What he had was great characters. So again, reading his plot outline several times, I began taking notes, began looking at the character sketches he had, and began formulating. A story started appearing in my own imagination. You have to understand, I'm a huge science fiction fan. I've been reading it since I was a kid. I grew up on Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers, all right? Was absolutely in love with Star Trek and Star Wars. And here was this opportunity to actually write a science fiction saga. Well, in the end, what I ended up doing was envisioning a 6-part miniseries that we'd call Beyond the Stars. I sent a basic proposal idea, which was like about 4 pages long. I asked Andrea to give me 2 new characters and to actually change one of his characters from being a human into an alien. And kept my fingers crossed that I might not have overstepped my boundaries with what he'd asked. The next day, I was happy to see he approved of everything I'd written, was excited by it, had actually done the sketches of the new characters I'd envisioned, had altered the one human character to an alien, and was totally on board with my concept of a story. All right, so here we go. I'm partnering with a very, very talented Italian artist for the first time ever. Where is this thing going to end up? Well, years and years ago, back in San Diego, at the start of my career, I'd had the good fortune of running into and meeting Roland Mann, a really fantastic comic book writer, creator, editor, publisher. Roland's done it all. And Roland had recently begun Silverline Comics out of Florida, where he lives with his wife, and was looking for properties, and had been kind enough to drop me a line months earlier to ask if I had anything that, you know, might be worth showing him, that maybe Silverline, you know, would like to have. So once I had Andrea's approval, once we'd agreed we were going to do this project together, I took those first 5 pages digitally that he had done, which had first intrigued me and brought me on board, and I sent them to Roland and said, what do you think of this? I said, and I then elaborated on who Andrea was. And let me add that Andrea isn't a rookie. He's a 35-year professional in the comic field and has worked basically for most European comic countries, Germany, France, Spain, etc. And I believe Beyond the Stars is his first actual American comic. One of the other reasons why he was excited to get on board to do this. Okay, well, Roland looked at the pages, read the actual formal proposal I'd done up, and got back to me within a couple of hours, basically saying, well, look, our format is 22 pages an issue. If you keep this to 22 pages, we will gladly accept Beyond the Stars as a Silverline project. And that was it. We were on our way. I got back to Andrea and immediately started writing script number 1, then started writing number 2. Andrea started working on number 1. And very, very happily, I should say, last year, we launched Kickstarter for issue number 1. It was successful. And before the year was out, we'd done a second Kickstarter, and we got issue number 2 out. So now production's really rolling along really well with this. As I said, here we are doing a promotion for Kickstarter for issue number 3, which is absolutely gorgeous, beautiful. And take note, with the publication of issue number 3, we're now halfway through the project. Again, this is a 6-issue miniseries. Where we're at as the assembly line moves along, Andrea is hard at work illustrating issue number 4. I am currently writing in tandem issues number 5 and 6, which I hope to have done by summer. So conceivably, we could probably see issue 3 and 4 out this year, maybe with fingers crossed, 5, but for sure, all you fans who've supported us thus far, thank you from the bottom of my heart. We'll most likely see 2 issues this year. We're going to try to get 3, and definitely by 2025, the start of the year, Beyond the Stars will wrap up. We'll have the story completed and into your hands. That's pretty much it. I think I've exhausted what I set out to do.
How can people get the first 2 issues?
Oh, okay. Hey, thanks a lot. Definitely. If and when the Kickstarter launches, of course, we'll be promoting this all over the internet on Facebook and all social media sites, all right? But one of the bennies, and I'm glad you asked that, one of the bennies of signing on to the Kickstarter for issue number 3 is issues 1 and 2 will be there and available as part of packages for, you know, how you sign up to get issue number 3. So if you've missed 1 or 2, or you got 1 and didn't see the Kickstarter for 2, they will all be available during the Kickstarter campaign for issue number 3. And just mark your calendars. The Kickstarter, I'm told, will launch February the 16th.
Thanks, Ron.
All right, thank you.
All right, so there you have it. Awesome words from Ron, and we're really excited about Beyond the Stars issue 3. I have 1 and 2 sitting here, and I just read them earlier today to refresh my memory, and gorgeous work there. But up next, we're going to chat with Haley Martin of Silverline. Add her. There we go.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
And you are the artist responsible for the troublemaking bear.
Yes. Yep. This guy.
Yeah.
Yep. yeah. So yeah, so issue 2 is on the same Kickstarter currently with Beyond the Stars #3. So it's very exciting, and you can get issue 1 as well, which is what this is. So
Yeah.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, and see, that's what I love about Silverline is that, they have all these packages, but you can go back and order any of the previous comics that you missed or didn't, have a chance to get the first time with the comics. So it's just it's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It is
thing.
cool. Yeah, you can even add on, I believe, comics like besides those 2 that are crowdfunding right now. Like I think you can add. There's probably at least like 20 different
Right.
ones that you can add on. So
right, exactly.
Yep.
And it's convenient. Plus, you guys are I totally blanked on what I was gonna say, but they're in Diamond. They're in Diamond again,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah,
that's
just started,
exciting.
yeah.
So if you have a favorite comic book, a retailer, just head on down and say, "Hey, I want to order these," and they will.
Yep.
So I'm told.
Do that. Because then eventually these ones will be in stores, hopefully. Because like there's just a couple of them, the ones that are completed right now. And then like we said, I think we're halfway through Bear as well, because I think that's going to be 4 issues. So.
Oh, okay.
Good thing, I believe. Yeah.
So, what is the sort of summary of Bear? Like, tell me how that came to be.
Yeah. So the story is, I mean, I believe Roland has been thinking about this. Let me see. Actually, it says in the beginning. Yeah, he was thinking about Bear since the late 90s. So this is an idea that's been in the works for a long time. And then, the story is basically it's very Winnie the Pooh inspired, which legally we can say that now that Winnie the Pooh's in public domain. So, because obviously the main character is a stuffed bear, and he lives in a world full of toys, and it kind of looks like they're in the woods, but there's also scenes that kind of zoom out and show the kids' room where they're really all just toys. But the kid has disappeared. Supposedly he's died. And so some of the toys are like freaking out. Some of them are like, yay, we're free. We can do whatever we want. But Bear was extra close to the kid, and the kid told him, like, I'm going to come back. You need to like tell all the toys to be ready for me. And so Bear's telling them that, and some of them believe him, some of them don't. So just general chaos happening.
So it's like a Toy Story meets Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Sounds like that's very cool.
That kind of thing. Yep.
Which
Living toys.
It is what it is. But I think that sounds really cool. So what has been your favorite thing as working on this process? Either a specific page or anything like that?
Yeah, that's hard. It has been fun to just sort of the freedom that I've had with it, because Roland has been pretty trusting. Like, yeah, I like your art. Like, go for it. I with the first issue, I did some character design, sent them to him, and he was like, "Oh, make Bear's like snout a little bigger." Like, had some little feedback like that. But for the most part, he was like, "Yeah, I like it. Go for it." And so it's just fun to interpret, because I think this is like the first. Because I've done my own comics that I've written, but this is the first one where I've like really collaborated with someone else and taken someone else's script and brought that vision to life. So that's just cool to see. And just, I love stuffed animals. I've still got a bunch of my childhood stuffed animals all around my room here. So that's a fun topic to get to draw for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was your favorite stuffed animal growing up?
Oh, I have him. Let me grab him. Because I got this little guy. His name's Russ, and I brought him out because I did actually, let's see, what page is that? I did give him a cameo. So there's a spread from issue 1 that shows the kid's room.
Hang on.
Yeah, where is he? I added him right right up there.
Oh,
Little bear. So
that's cool.
and there's a ton of others. So this was a fun page to do.
Oh,
There's a
wow.
ton of, like,
That looks really cool.
other stuff that you can recognize just strewn around the messy room. So
I would just be staring at that page forever, like just looking at
Mhm.
all the cool things.
yeah. Yeah. It's fun. Yeah. It's fun looking back at it now. Probably while I was drawing it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much.
Right.
But it was fun to think of, like, because I think Roland gave me a list of like different kind of toys and characters that he wanted to be in there, and then he was like, and add some other stuff, just have fun with it. So
Okay, wow, that's very cool.
Mhm.
So I guess working with Roland has been interesting because you, up until this point, this is the first time you've mentioned that you've actually collaborated with someone.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was just you're free to do whatever you want, whatever's in your head.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, it's been different, but yeah, they've felt like I've had a lot of freedom with that, and
That's awesome.
yeah, we've seemed to like get along well. Like and then if I ever have like a question of like what, because usually the script's pretty clear, but then there's been a couple times where like, what do you mean, or like, were you thinking this? And then we can go back and forth, and it's pretty easy to just like clear any of that up and think like, here's what I was thinking, and
Yeah.
for that. So,
Well,
yeah.
it helps. Roland
Mhm.
is always awesome to talk to, so
Yeah.
he's very easy to get along with. So I
Yeah.
get that.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Yep.
So what would you say? I don't know. Issue 1 took. How long did that take for you?
That's a good question. I mean, probably a couple months. I don't. Yeah, because it was a few years ago that it did issue 1, and then issue 2. Issue 2 definitely was quicker because, like, I'd already had the characters designed, and had like a color palette picked out. So like that kind of stuff takes a little more time, like stuff you don't think about, and you're like, okay, here's
Yeah.
the script. It's this many pages. Just draw all these pages, but there's a lot of like, kind of work before that
Yeah, for
has to
sure.
get done. Like thinking about like, okay, let's make sure we know what these characters are going to look like, the setting, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's like one of the hardest things that people don't understand. It's like there's so many things that have to come up and be addressed like before you can even dive into the story.
Mhm.
Like I can think of like a million ideas off the top of my head, but how is that going to translate just by telling you? It's like it's
Mhm.
kind of difficult. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It is. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff you don't think of until you're actually doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So what's your goal on this to accomplish in this series?
Series. Definitely having like a completed series that I've worked on will be really cool. I mean, I have my own stuff that I've been working on, and I'm trying to finish that up. I've been working on the same story for like almost 10 years. So I'm like we'll see which one gets finished first. That
Right.
or better. But yeah, having just that, and I think it will be really cool. Because like I'm definitely like more of a trade paperback person than like collecting individual issues. So having like a paperback of like the completed Bear story, like to hold in my hands, that'll be like, yes. I'm
Yeah.
excited for that. So yeah, and then definitely, and if stuff keeps going well with Diamond, having it in stores, like
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're talking about putting together trade paperbacks too, right?
Yeah, because they've done that for like I think at least 2 maybe Silverline comics that are completed. I know I have one of Kalis, I think.
Okay.
So they've done a couple.
Yeah, I thought I remembered seeing something about that a while back, but
yeah,
that'll be so cool to have that in your hand.
That's
like
that.
That'll be an accomplishment and something you can feel good about for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Who's been your favorite character to draw?
Oh man, that's hard. I mean, it might be Bear himself, like, because he's He's just so like round and cuddly, and then I like his little like hair thing. But then here, I just happened to flip to this page. Like I've got some angry expressions on him too. If you see, man, I'm doing a terrible job pulling it. Yeah, like that one. So he's still, yeah, and it's fun like to try to still make him expressive with like I gave him those kind of just like blank white eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Still just there's a lot, yeah, like going on with his eyebrows and stuff. So yeah, he's fun. And Hoglet too, the little pig. I like drawing him because he's got like his squishy cheeks and then his glasses. The cheeks are just, I don't know. I like those for some reason.
Well, that's a good answer. I mean, they seem like prominent characters, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's awesome that you get to do that with just the liberties and all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
that you've had with them.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's another character. Let me see if there's like any pictures of him because I don't want to give any spoilers. But the page with him might be. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. There's in the second issue, there's this character who is like a bunch of different action figures like stuck together, like different. He's got like a Batman head, a Ninja Turtle body, like a Hulk arm. So he was fun to draw and like put all those together.
Wow.
So that was
That sounds
that
like
was
something
actually,
that sounds like something that would have come out of my friend's room,
yeah.
cobbled together, or Sid if
Yeah,
you
from
want
Toy
to get
Story.
down
Yeah,
to
exactly.
it.
So yeah, so
Uh,
that was a fun character to design and draw.
That's
too, so
awesome.
he shows up for a couple pages in the second issue.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what about what else? What else is going on? What do you have planned after B?
Well, there's
There.
a couple. Yeah, there's a couple other series that I'm working on with Silverline that I'm doing the colors for. There's the Obsoletes, which had its second issue come out last year, and then there's the Rejects, which has one issue so far, and I'm working on the colors for the second issue of that. So those are the other Silverline projects, and then I've got I grabbed these books here. I have the two books so far. Let's see how thick these are. These are the big books that I like to do. This is my series called Heroic Shenanigans. That's the one that I do all the writing and the art. It's about superhero summer camp, and that one is I've got it in print now. Started as a web comic, so I posted up on Webtoons, and I'm hoping to finish that up like sometime in the next year, hopefully, if I really work on it and get like a third book printed, and then just round out that story and then have that project completed, and then move on to more comics.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So is it always your dream to work on comics, work in the comic industry?
Not real. I've always been into art. Like I've always loved drawing, and I was thinking like, oh, I want to like work for Disney and Pixar or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never really thought like doing comics as a career. But yeah, and I was never like a super big comic reader growing up, but I found webcomics. I made an account on DeviantArt like when I was in middle school, and that was the start of like my online art experience of like posting my own art and following other artists online. And through that, I found webcomics and thought that was really cool, but never really thought like, oh, this is something I want to do. I was always like, oh my gosh, like I have my own characters and stories, but that just seems like so much work, so much drawing, drawing the same characters over and over. But then for my senior thesis in college, I had to do like an art gallery show. And I thought, you know what, I want to try to make a comic with these characters. And so since it had to be like in the gallery, like on the walls, I can just make a book. So I did like these little cardboard cutouts of like each panel was like stuck to the wall as like its own little thing. And then that became the first chapter. And then I was like, you know what, this is really cool. I'm just going to continue with this story.
Yeah.
That's how that started. I kind of just like stumbled into it and was like, you know what, actually, I didn't think this was something that I would like. And it is a lot of work, just like I knew it would be, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Man, can't imagine having that the talent and foresight to think of all that, but who knows? I just am a writer, so that's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the talent to draw or anything like that, so I envy people that do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but writing's hard too. I mean, that might be the hardest part for me. Like, because actually, yeah, thinking about it now, that is another thing that I've enjoyed working on Bear. Like, obviously, I like working on my own stories as well, but it was kind of nice to be like, okay, it's already written. I don't have to like think about what's going to be on this page. What are they going to say? Like, it's already there. I just have to visualize it and draw it. So it's like
That's
that first
fair.
step is like already done for me, which in my own comics, like since I've been working on this story for so long, I kind of like I had ideas when I started it, but I didn't
Right.
have like a complete outline of like here's the beginning, middle, and end of the story. So now I'm kind of like, okay, I want to wrap this up and hopefully it like makes sense with everything that came before. Like I've got different ideas now. Like I've changed and grown as a person and as an artist since
Yeah.
I started it. So it's like if I had finished this story 10 years ago, it probably would be a lot different than how I'm doing it now. But that's kind of just like how those long-term projects go. Things change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's pretty crazy. Huh.
Mhm.
Well, so hang on. Let's do this here. I will see if I can do this. We'll present, share screen, share. Let's see. I think it's no. There we go. Share. All right. So here we go.
There
So
we go.
when you go to the website that's below and in the description, you'll find this. And we got Bear and Beyond the Stars. And you'll see that there's tons of stuff that you can add for this. And here's the stories, the just overall the idea and all that. And then here's the rewards. They have these amazing super phenomenal covers that they do in their foil editions.
Mhm.
And they're just so cool. And yeah, and you can get them digitally and all that stuff as well. So definitely worth taking a look at and supporting, throwing your support in there.
Mhm.
This is, and here's where we were talking about. Here's the complete list for all of it, and then they have some art in here. Where's the thing that I was looking at before? Ooh.
Yeah, there's that superhero character I was talking about.
Yeah, here's the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Oh, where is it? Yeah, add-ons. Oh, yeah. So here's the back issues. So you can order all these back issues of any of them, any of their titles, and you can add it to your backer project or backer kit, so to speak. So, and here's the trades.
Mhm.
Remember that. So this is what I was thinking of. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. So that's that. So yeah, if you get a chance, stop by that link,
Mhm.
give your support, and just have a good time with it.
Yep. Yeah.
So what do you have? Anything else to say?
No, just yeah. Hope you guys check out the Kickstarter and any of the comics, and you know, you reach out to Silverline, let us know what you think if you read any of them. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's a lot. I mean, there's bound to be something for everybody because they have so many different comics and different kind of stories and genres. Like there's superhero, sci-fi. It's like
Yeah.
kind of kid-friendly stuffed animal book. So
And I have a bunch here. I have
yeah,
Beyond the
yeah.
Stars. I have a whole stack of them. Kalis. So
Yeah.
Cat and Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Those are fun issues. And and Steam Patriots.
Yeah.
There's been 2 or 3 issues of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a really good time. That's a fun story too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, you guys are really just doing something special, and it looks like so much fun. I actually want to get in on it.
Uh-huh.
But I don't have an artist or anything like that lined up because it's I don't know, it's something. But I have ideas for dark comics and stuff like that, and I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't think anyone would want to handle that.
Well, who knows? Maybe you'll find there. Do you go to conventions at all? Because that's how I first met Roland. Was at where tables were across from each other, and I was like, "Oh, you write comics? You don't draw them? So are you ever looking for more artists?"
Right.
So yeah.
I got to go to I think PowerCon this year, but I didn't. I only met one artist. As I was circling around, I was trying not to die because it was a lot of walking, and I had cancer, so I was still, my endurance still isn't up quite to snuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I need to find a chair. I need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I think her name was Strange Ghosts, and that was just she's really fun artist, which I had wanted to get on here at some point, but I actually met Roland through school. I took his class in Full Sail.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Pretty cool.
I had the privilege of being tutored by none other than Roland Mann.
Oh, very cool.
So that was fun. But yeah, so yeah, if you have any time, click the link, check it out, and don't be a stranger to Silverline or our show. And until then, we will see you next time.
Yep. Bye.